Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So in this our first class, before we go about learning how to create various map analysis using GIS software, we'll first of all understand the basics of GIS. To understand the basics of GIS, we'll have to go through the definition, the application, the various data types, the various data sources, and the GIS software that are used for GIS analysis. So for definition, GIS, which is an abbreviation for Geographic Information System, refers to a computer-based tool that includes its hardware and software used for collecting data, to save data, manage this data, process and analyze the data, and visualize this geographic data. GIS can be applied in almost any field of study. So here are some of the lists of studies or disciplines where GIS can be applied. In agriculture, GIS can be applied for soil mapping to map out area of the same soil characteristics. Can be used for vegetation analysis to analyze how thick or how healthy an area of vegetation is. Then for planning, GIS can be used for land capability mapping and land suitability mapping. Both of them are essential planning aspects in which areas of land are mapped out for various capabilities and suitable uses. And for transportation, GIS can be used to carry out transportation accessibility index to analyze how these transportation routes are being accessed. Shortest route index to analyze the shortest transportation route from one place to another point in space. And for connectivity index, this analysis is done to see how connected transport networks are. Then environmental impact assessments, GIS can be used to see how an environmental feature is affecting or having impact in the environment and the human inhabitants. And for surveying, it can be used to carry out coordinate tracking, geological modeling, and other type of modeling such as cadastral mapping, engineering mapping, etc. In GIS, there are different data that GIS deals with. This data can be broadly classified into two types: the spatial data, and this spatial data have two forms: vector data, which is spatially referenced. Example of this vector data are line data, point data, and area data. Line data are data used to represent road networks, river, stream, and river networks. And point data are used to depict a particular point in space, such as a particular geographic feature, buildings, trees, etc. Then for area feature, they are used to delineate the boundaries of states, nations, continents, buildings, blocks, super blocks, etc. Then for raster data, these are pictorial data that are represented in pixel form. Some of these data can be georeferenced, such as satellite imagery, DTMs, DEM, TIM, which is triangular irregular network. Then others cannot be, some other raster data can not be georeferenced or are imported on georeference, but will be georeferenced when they are imported into the GIS software. Example of this data included scanned topo map or any other scanned map that has already been prepared but scanned into a software form and imported into ArcGIS. For you to analyze such a data, you have to georeference it first before analysis can be carried out. Then the other broad class of data of GIS data is the attribute data. This is an underlying data that is represented in tabular form. This attribute data give more meaning to this spatial data that are imported into a GIS software. Some of this data include latitude and longitudinal information, postal codes, city info code, telephone numbers, names, IDs, etc. This GIS data can be gotten from a variety of sources. It can be online source or it can be physical source. Some of the physical source of this data are through remotely sensed data such as aerial photograph, through GPS measurements, and through surveying, where you go to the field, take surveys and take readings or measurements using your GPS, and through satellite imagery. These are downloaded from websites that these satellite images are uploaded into. Then through scan topo map, as said earlier, which is a raster data. Then from local GIS departments, which is your ministries such as the Ministry of Survey and Ministry of Planning, the data they have collected for GIS analysis. Example of free online source of GIS data are OpenStreetMap, USGS Earth Explorer, or Glovis. This is the most common online source for satellite imagery, where you can get satellite imagery where you can get low resolution satellite imagery such as your DM image, your DTM, your NDVI images, etc. Then ArcGIS Online, this is where you connect your GIS software to an online source. Open Topography, Google Earth is a very good open source data collection site where you can collect your data. Then the BB Bike Extract, this is a shapefile data collecting site where you can easily get your shapefiles for map analysis. Then the various GIS software that can be used for GIS analysis includes ArcGIS Pro, ArcMap. Both of these software are owned by Esri. The ArcMap is the most frequently used as it is an open sourced GIS software and can be used offline. Others include the Grass GIS, the QGIS, the Envy, and the Global Mapper. All these GIS software are very good for GIS analysis, but for the purpose of these tutorials or for the purpose of these classes, we will stick to the use of ArcMap. So this is the end of the lesson for today, getting ourselves known to the introduction to GIS, and I hope in the next classes we'll have to learn more on the interface of the GIS software, which is the ArcMap that we are going to be using for these classes. So thank you. Please subscribe, turn on notification for you to receive updates. Have a nice day.